So I'm here with the famous Doug from Doug and Stacy, Off-Grid Homestead, and we're here at the Homesteading Live Conference, and we've been just amazed by with all the stuff that we've been learning
on our first time
here, and we appreciate that you do this. What was the main reason why you started doing a Homesteading Life conference?
Because there's obviously a hunger of people that want to leave city life and get back to the roots of growing food, harvesting food, raising animals, and living a more sustainable life. So 4 years ago, we started thinking about it, and we want to really do hands-on. We do a lot of stuff online. We really try hard to educate you guys on YouTube as far as living this kind of life, but we really put emphasis on the hands-on training. So my wife and I decided to start this conference, gather people around, gather experts in the field, and then teach everyone who wants to learn, and it's been working out really good.
Yeah, I mean, we got invited by Jason and Robin from Big Bear Homestead.
Yeah, I miss you guys. Wish you were here. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah,
better start making your plans for next year.
Yeah, and so we were glad that they told us about this, and I really like it. We're definitely coming back again next year. Where do you see this going on? Like anywhere? Do you see it expanding, or just?
We're going to keep this about 400 people. It's a limited seating event all the time because we want to keep it really intimate so you guys can come and get the questions answered and have the one-on-one time that you need so you can make good decisions, so you don't waste a lot of money, make a lot of headaches, and have a bad time doing this lifestyle.
We were surprised we thought there was going to be a lot of people that had already been doing this.
Right.
And when you asked about it, and we saw almost a whole room just never even done this, we was like,
they've never even been here before.
Yeah.
I was floored by that. I asked the room how many people were here last year, and about 20 people raised their hand.
I was like, holy crap.
And then I said, how many is this your first time here at the conference? And the whole place lit up. I was like, wow.
That was.
When are the tickets on sale for the next event?
So we'll probably have the tickets for sale, you know, in a day or two. It's going to take me that long to kind of calm down a little bit, get the website put together. We will have some discounted tickets. We always offer discounted tickets up first, and then that'll be for like 30 days or 60 days, and then it'll go to regular price. So
I'm going to be the first one.
yeah, you got to get those discounted tickets because we make it really attractive for you guys, and then we hope to see you here. There was a lot of people that actually bought those tickets last year and didn't come because of the pandemic. Well, that's why we were a little light on our attendance. But all those new people, 300 new people showed up to come to this conference during these times.
Well, I sure appreciate you for holding on to this.
Handshaking, hugging, and no masking. All right?
Appreciate all the work that you do for the homestead community.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming out to the event and being participants. You guys asked a lot of questions.
Yes,
you had
sir.
a good time, and that was awesome. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a single video. It's right there.
Yeah.
And then all notifications, so every video you get squared up on it.
All right, thanks. All right, so we're here with the Fit Farmer. We got Mike, Lacey, and Sayla. The two boys weren't able to come, but we're here at the Homesteading Life Conference here in Missouri, and this is our first time ever been here, and we have been enjoying it. What's we've been learning so far, and what was one of the reasons why you came here to teach or do any type of presentation and whatnot?
Well, this is our third year here at the conference, and the conference itself, this is the third year for it. And the first year started with Doug inviting me out to be a speaker here and to be able to share some things with everyone attending, and we had a blast that first year. Came back again, blast again, and then this year's there's been a blast once again. We do have a little fewer people here, and it was to be expected with everything that's going on around the world. But it's really nice to be able to share with people the things that we have learned through our homestead journey, but also to be able to come here and learn from others. We're still learning at the same time, so that's really nice, as well as to be able to connect with so many people. When we come here, it's almost like a big reunion of coming together of people like-minded. When you're doing this lifestyle, you can feel isolated and alone and even ridiculed sometimes by family members and people around you. But coming here to a place where people are doing some of the same things as you, it's really uplifting and inspiring.
Yeah, especially when they're all like-minded people, just interesting to learn from one another, picking each other's brain, networking and stuff like that.
I like sharing the bond of not trusting the food system.
Oh yeah. Definitely trying to get away from this broken food system is one of our reasons why we want to do this, living a lot better and whatnot, trying to control what goes into our body. Hopefully we can get to a point where we're growing at least, or feeding ourselves at least 80% of what we put into our body at least, and whatnot.
Yeah, we found a lot of inspiration in watching you guys.
And you guys are doing some awesome stuff too.
Oh, appreciate
so
it.
Keep up the good work. And I think with everything that's going on this year, it's kind of put it in people's mind more that, hey, our system could just easily collapse any day.
Yeah.
Suddenly we're not as weird as we were.
Yes, and so
Exactly.
now we're getting a lot of our family members and friends like asking us questions. How you do this? How you do that? I'm like, oh, now it's not too crazy and weird. Huh?
Now we're the ones with information.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's interesting and fun to kind of show them how we do different things and stuff, and we let them know, like, this is just what we do it. You know, there's other ways to do it, but you know, this is the ways that we find success in doing it.
But it's been really neat that they have a lot of stuff going on for
Exactly.
the kids. That Doug and Stacy do a good job of putting that kind of stuff together, and then they need that connection
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And
With other
with this
kids.
year, it's shown me that how much that people need connection.
Oh, yeah.
As homesteaders, you can kind of go off and be alone, and maybe not realize how much we need to be able to connect. We're not meant to live isolated by ourselves. We need connection of some type of community for us to continue to be mentally and physically healthy all around.
And because we can't do it alone.
No.
Exactly.
Like, you can't grow 100% of your
Oh,
needs.
yeah.
And that's why the communities were there to begin with. It's because, you know, one person grew this really well, another person grew this
Exactly.
really
we
well.
would
one
love to
person
get in a
sewed.
bartering.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
want to
Right.
grow and barter, and you know.
And this just helps you build that community, even though you're not next to one another. You know, we can still mail each other things.
Yeah, like, oh, I
you
need
know?
some potatoes. Oh, you need some potatoes? I'll get you some
Oh.
potatoes.
Somebody
Rob,
said,
yeah.
we've got some chickens that you really need. And we're like, mail us some eggs so we can incubate them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. It's so good to find people that, like Mike said, it's a reunion. It's like a family reunion and everybody coming together and wanting to help each other out.
I keep saying it's like finding your tribe.
It
Yeah.
is. This year, and I'd like to see it continue on. It's just more like a round table discussion.
Yeah.
I almost think back of in the ancient days when the head of the tribe would sit down and just kind of talk to the people in the tribe, and it was almost like that moment when we had a couple of those round table discussions where we were just able to share and interact. It's not just us up there giving a presentation, but we kind of interact throughout the talk with people, and it's so nice seeing people, and everybody's heading out now. It's almost kind of sad to see
It's always
everything.
sad.
So this was a 2-day event. It started on Sunday and ended with a boat ride. And then Monday it ended with a good speakers that we learned from. The first day, Doug and Stacy talked, and you thought it was pretty interesting.
I did. Stacy said something I had never heard before, and that was agrarian lifestyle. So she mentioned some things that I've had thoughts about, because I have watched some documentaries about the benefits of cold showers, something that she likes to do, grounding, barefoot, which is something we're challenged by. Like, there's some things that are going to be for you that you hear, and there's some things that you're going to hear and you're not going to do, and that's the beauty of getting into this type of lifestyle, because you need to do what works for you, and you need to understand that not everybody's way is the only way. We're planning to find our forever property, and that's the whole reason that this was a valuable conference for us to go to. We're middle-aged, we are thinking of aging in place, and Doug said some really important stuff about, planning for that. You need to go into this lifestyle getting out of debt. Like, that was a huge message. And that's something that we were talking about before this. Like, we're pretty, near that. We're getting near that. And he mentioned about even planning when you're building, like to have stuff near your home, like your outside kitchen, your garden near your home. Important things when you're planning, because as you age in place, these are things that are going to get more difficult. So we have to be really forward thinking in what we're doing. So after Doug and Stacy started off the conference, immediately we were challenged. There were 3 different areas. There was the Pioneer Hall, there was the tent and the brick house, and there were different classes going on, and there's different subjects. You know, for anybody going to this conference, I would really look at what's going on and prioritize based on what your needs are and what you don't know.
And take a notebook and pen and write tons of notes. It's best to go with a couple, so that way if you find things that both of y'all are interested in, y'all can tag team that.
We split up.
Yeah, there was a few times that she went off to one side and I went off to another side, and we were just taking notes and making sure that we took in all of that information. Especially the first one, luckily we was able to share together, was the food preservation by Maureen Diaz.
So important.
Oh my God, it changed our whole mind on canning, fermenting,
what our priorities were,
Yeah.
and how we're going to do it. And you know, I'm glad we took that together, and one of the reasons I'm really glad that we took that together is because if I would have come to him and if I would have listened to that by myself, he would have thought that I was crazy.
You mean you're
I
not?
think I do.
I'm about to say,
am
do I need for you to come to me before?
But if I would have come to him and told him that we could preserve food in fat.
Oh yeah, I would have been like, no, you're not trying to kill me.
So, I mean, we learned, and there was such an emphasis on, you know, going back in time, how the Indians did things.
Yeah, and we won't give a lot of information away, so that way next year y'all be able to buy your tickets and go to this conference, because it's something that you don't want to miss. Now, the next one that we were able to attend together was about the DE, Dimaceous Earth, and Stacy, she talked about the different uses that you can use with DE. Now with me, I already knew that you can use it for pests, but it was amazing to learn from her other ways that you can use it on your homestead. And we had just bought this food. You want to make sure you get a food grade. My intentional use with this was just for pests, because Mrs. Nakid Gardener saw that there was a lot of roly-polies. I was fine with it in the garden or in the compost, but we started noticing a lot more in our garden area, and we figured it might be kind of munching on some of our plants. So we did a beer trap, and we're going to do a video test about that. And so I decided to go ahead and get some DE just to see how well it can do against crustaceous, or how do you say it?
Crustaceous.
Crustaceous.
And I like how Stacy said that it was like these little crustaceous ninjas. You
Yeah.
gotta think of them like that, because they just slice up bugs.
Yeah, it just basically cuts them up. But going into her little, we noticed that you can do this for
A lot
yeah,
of stuff.
it's just amazing. You just, like I
Lots.
said, you have to attend to this conference next year so you can learn different ways that you can use DE. The next speaker that we were able to both attend was the 12 veggies that you can grow fast and easy, and that was by Fit Farmer Mike Dixon. And some of these we were already knew about, but it was interesting how other things that I wasn't so much aware about that he was able to speak on, and the nutrition value on those. What was your intake on that?
I thought it was really good, especially for anybody that's interested in starting to garden, because it wasn't just about 12 veggies you can grow, it was 12 easiest veggies you can grow. And I think that that's really valuable, because, you know, beginning gardeners always get discouraged when something dies. So I think it's good advice what he gave, because these are things that are pretty hardy, that are easy to grow, and I think that that it really will kind of capture, you know, especially even a beginner, somebody that hasn't done it, and just kind of bring them into getting something started. One of the classes that I attended by myself, because he was kind of busy with Family Homestead and on their live stream with Big Bear Homestead and all of their followers. It was perfect timing. I attended a class with Stacy. She was talking about recipes. Right before we went to this, we had just gotten a lot of stuff to do fermentation. And so this conference was perfect timing for us, because at this conference I learned that fermentation is definitely something I want to do. It's healthier. There's probiotics in it. I mean, I get it. Canning is important too. Canning is something you have to do for long-term storage. It does deplete some of the nutrition in things, but fermentation definitely has a lot more nutritional health, and it's good for some of your immediate needs. And Stacy shared really great recipes on some very basic condiments, ketchup and mustard, that are also healthy for you. So that was something that I got recipes for. I'm not going to share them. That's Stacy's. But that was of great value for me that I'm going to do since I have the stuff to do it.
Yeah. Later on, towards the end of the day, Doug and Stacy did a roundtable event where you can ask them any type of questions, whether it was about homesteading, politics, whatever it may be. And he basically, as you all know, Doug will let you know how it is. And then after that, we went on to the boat ride, and the boat ride was amazing. We got to sit down with Daryl and Sherry and MeeMaw, and also with Chris and Tara from
Keto Wife Life. MeeMaw is Keto Wife Life.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
We'll put their description of their channels down below. But it was amazing to sit down and talk with them. And they also, Mother Udder was able to be there with us, and we kind of basically just talked about our experiences and whatnot. So it was a great networking that time.
It was like a perfect pick each other's brain of where they were, with just becoming more self-sustainable.
Yeah.
It was great.
We're on day 2. And this is one of the classes that Stacy started off with out in the tent. And she was talking about sunflowers. And we was talking which sunflowers is the best one to grow and to harvest from to get the seeds. She was telling us about the black sunflower seed oil, sunflower, I believe it is, and how universal it is, because not only are you able to raise it for your chickens, but you also can use it for yourself, harvest the seeds and use it for yourself. She was talking about how huge the head gets, and sometimes she has to harvest it early, so that way the birds, the local birds, don't come in and harvest it before she does. And
she said as soon as it kind of droops down, like it's bowing down, that is like the perfect time to just go ahead and harvest it. So
after Stacy, we got to attend a Poultry Forum by Jody. And she was basically talking about things that we were interested in, because once we get our homestead, we would like to raise poultry, especially not just chickens, but possibly even turkeys or
ducks
and stuff. And so she had those along with peacocks and guineas, which I don't understand why people want to raise guineas besides ticks. But she did tell us a story about how a wolf had came onto her property, and her
guineas surrounded it.
Yeah, and would just go.
Yeah, apparently they're very protective of flocks.
Yeah,
which I had no idea.
But we hopefully learning from Jason from Big Bear Homestead. And Jess, just leaving her place, that we'll probably get more dog protectors to kind of help protect our livestock and animals.
A Great Pyrenees is definitely on our radar.
So, but I just can't deal with the guineas with their loud barks and But anyway.
That was my common question, because I was surrounded, there was a lot of people that were not homesteaders at this conference, but then there were a lot of people that were homesteaders at this conference. So this was a great place to go if you're planning to homestead, to pick up, just ask these questions to everybody. What do you think your best chicken for meat birds are? What's your best chicken for egg laying?
And not just asking them what chicken, but why they feel that way, because that way because each person has their own experience.
I have 3 pages of notes on chicken questions.
So next, after that, we attended the Natural Beekeeping by Dr. Leo, and that's something that is close and dear to Mrs. Nakid Gardner's heart, because once we get our homesteading property, she would like to start raising some bees. So you want to talk about what you thought was interesting that you learned from that?
Yeah, because that was the first time, my whole idea of what beekeeping was changed. You know, I was one of those weird little tom girls that loves bugs, loves spiders, loves insects and observing them. I've never been like scared of them. So I always knew, like, if I had my own place, that I would love to raise bees. Dr. Leo just opened my mind to how you go about capturing wild bee nests. He has a class in September. He's located in the Ozarks of Arkansas. I'll put some information down below because I really want to go to the September class if I can get him to pay for it.
Say what?
So comment down below if you think he should pay for me to go to that.
Whoa. Let's clip that one out.
No. That's going in. I'm editing.
We was able to catch the end of Patrick's talk about his knife sharpening. He has this amazing blade that I saw Jess from Roots and Refuge go over and talk to him about his blades last year. And this blade is interesting because it has no, normally on this part it has no leather. It has a leather or wooden handle on it, and it's basically a naked blade, and it's sharp as I don't know what. Look how sharp that is.
It is so sharp.
Yeah, he does his little taking the hair off and stuff, and it's has this necklace thing where all it takes is about 5 to 8. He kind of calibrated to where once you hit about 5 to 8 pounds, you could just take it off like that. It's nice, especially around the garden or around the homestead, how easy
it's an all-around useful tool.
And it's, like I said, it's very sharp. So we listened to How to Make a Profitable Garden by The Fit Farmer, and some of y'all already know about his channel, and he has talked about that, but it was great to hear it again and ask some questions on about how to get started. What were your success stories? What were your failure stories? And what do you feel was the best produce to, you know, to be marketable? And it was good to pick his brains, and even though that's not something that we possibly might not be into, but it's good to maybe later down in the future to learn how to profit our garden from that.
Yeah, as obsessive as we are with gardening, the reason that I was interested in listening to that is that, you know, as addicted as we are to growing things, I see us getting onto a homestead and growing more than what we need. And he talked about a CSA, which he has a CSA, and I'm interested in what that means, and what areas actually do something like that.
Or provide it or anything.
Provide it. But it is a, you know, a local farmer that and his advice was to start off with, you know, like 10 people that are interested in produce, and you do something either bi-weekly or monthly. He has different options in the CSA, and he talked about, you know, farmers market, going to restaurants and talking to chefs, and grocery stores that are privately owned, not these, you know,
fancy hoity-toity ones,
chains.
Like Ruth Chris or Texas Day Brazil, you won't be able to.
And the other one he said was brokers or wholesalers. So just the downside to something like that is that they kind of take a cut. It's not as direct as a CSA, so you can, you know, you put all the work in. Why should somebody else get the money?
We wind up catching a little bit of Doug's composting toilets, and we seen him and the Green Dream of a project talking about this. That's something that we're not going to be probably doing. Well, I could say it's nothing we're going to be doing, but it was fun listening to the benefits and what to look for when doing that.
And I'm just going to add to that, is that something that really stood out for me about us deciding what we're not going to do and what we're going to do. You know, something that stood out for me was that Doug and Stacy didn't know that they were going to be where they are right now.
Yeah.
They always thought that they were going to have electricity, and then they, you know, things just kind of changed as they evolved in their, you know, life, and so, and their situation and what they had going on. So, I mean, I'm going to be open to what?
Okay.
No, but I mean, you're the fancy one.
Oh, he is. He's a germaphobe.
We'll see.
Okay.
Y'all hear it first. Timestamp it.
I think I can rough it better than you.
Timestamp it. So we also got to listen to Doug talk about rainwater harvesting, and that's something that we definitely would like to do once we get our property. It was good to hear about the different possibilities and how to calculate how you should calculate what size barrel that you should need for your rain to be off of your roof.
Based on what your needs are. He went into depth about it because they actually live off grid and they use their water not just for their garden. So our idea going in is that we want to harvest water to cut down on cost watering our garden, and we plan on having a large one. So that's what our intentions are at this point. But he covered, the larger your roof, how things are set up on your square footage, is a calculation based on how much water that you can capture and how to place it and where to put it, because you use PVC pipes, and on what side of your house directionally so that those things don't corrode. So he really went in depth. So that's just another reason that you should go to this if you are planning to live like this.
Now, there was a lot of vendors out there that had their tent that you can go out and talk to. There was a few that we wasn't able to get a hold of because this was our first Homestead Life conference, so we was interested more about the conference. And in between break, we was trying to go out and talk to some of them. There was one with the raised beds,
they're about to be featured in Baker's Creek. Baker's Creek is actually going to be featuring them.
Yeah, and then there was the sun stove that Doug and Stacy premiered on one of their videos before. And then there was the Redmond real salt that was a real eye catcher, because when they was talking about the canning and the fermenting, how you want to use unrefined salt, get the whole goodness of the fine salt that has never been refined in there.
And it has multi-purposes, like even for your garden,
Yeah.
sprays. They showed us pictures of, they even use it for areas that have snow, salting the ground and the roads, and how much greener the grass was right where, along that side where they put it. So I'm super, super interested in getting some of Redmond real salt products. They did give us a sample. We just had our fermentation stuff right before we went to the conference. So we're actually going to have maybe some fun playing with
trying
that
out
this
with
weekend.
some fermenting recipes and different things to ferment, so stay tuned for that. So after day 2 of all the conference, we were able to talk to some of the content creators, like the Simple Life of Chris and Tara, of course Doug and Stacy, and also the family of the Fit Farmer. And one particular family was the Mother Udder. They're out of North California, and they basically told us about their success, the failures, and the things to look out for. Because just because you're out in the homestead and you think everything is all peachy, you know it all, until you hear a horror story from a fellow homesteader, and something that you want to kind of keep eye on.
One of the things I was really sad about after we came back home is realizing that after the interview that we had with Mother Udder and all the details, that we had issues with the sound on that. So we didn't get to hear or share with you the story in their words of exactly what happened, but I'll just kind of recap and let you know, if you don't follow them, that they really opened our eyes how important it is to do your research on wherever you buy your homestead, finding out what the cycles of tragedies or natural disasters are, and the insurance, because of the area that they were in Northern California, and the fire that destroyed their home and their outbuildings. The insurance in that area would not cover their outbuildings. It would only cover just the housing structure at the value it was at the time. And so 2 years later, I mean, this happened to them in 2018.
Yeah, the fall of 2018. It's almost been 2 years now.
And so, you know, they are having to deal with starting over. Like, they were living on their property in an RV, having to do the composting toilet. They knew all about that from Doug and Stacy. But they, you know, and they are a couple that have 2 adopted sons. They're just wonderful people, wonderful spirit, overcomers is what I would say about Mother Udder. So you need to check them out because, you know, in this kind of lifestyle, you're going to hit bumps and hard things are going to happen, but you have to remember stories like theirs.
Yeah. So we'll put a link to their channel as well, that everybody that we talked about, their website, all down in the description below. We'll even put a Homesteading Life Conference website down below, so that way you can check to see when tickets are available. And like I said, they're going to start them open probably here in the next few days or so with a discounted rate. So make sure you're able to get those tickets. I know we're definitely going to be back there again, and hopefully more vendors and talkers will be able to attend. Well, I hope you liked this video. If so, make sure to give us a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss an upload. Until the next video, let's grow together.